How's it hanging, fellas? I'm OrosZ and this is another episode of Half-Life 2, and in today's episode we are in the Citadel. Pretty fucked up place, pretty scary looking too. And honestly, I could have combined the last episode. This is the pre-last episode. But when I was recording this, I was kinda like, oh, I should have just simply combined this and the next episode into one and make this the final episode. But whatever, there's still one more episode of Half-Life 2. As I was thinking recently, maybe I should just do Half-Life 2 Episode 2 Let's Play at some point. Maybe I'll do it later. Maybe next Let's Play I should do like Portal, I don't know. With the Portal Let's Play, at least I'll be beneficial that I don't have to beat it first, because it's a puzzle game, so it'll be more interesting to see me trying to figure out the game. I also really wanted to check out today if using the USB adapter on my computer and recording footage of whatever, it will actually record my voice. We'll see. Jesus fucking Christ. Just drinking this fucking black energy drink. Couldn't have possibly anything to do with the fact that I'm burping all the time. And as I promised last episode, I was gonna finish reading the Steve the Headcrab fanfiction. Now, I had a weird fucking... It's like, what the fuck happened to this text? It seems like the website broke it. Or maybe he wrote it in some weird, I don't know, writing program, and when he posted it on the fanfic website, fanfiction.net, it all got corrupted. So there's like p align equals center Steve Headcrab / p, p align equals center chapter 8 / p, p align center / p, p align equals left. See? That shouldn't be fucking, that should just be visually, not fucking written down. What the fuck? Steve signed, here we are. Out of the frying pan and, well, back into the same frying pan, I guess. What the fuck is this? How am I supposed to read this when there's some random shit in it? It was as if Steve had never left. After recovering from the panic attack of being at the business end of Kleiner's shotgun, Steve had spent the rest of the day resting and watching the human work. However, instead of Kleiner's normal activities, he was stood in front of one of the computer screens talking to Barney. Although Steve had previously only passively learning about the current events by overhearing conversation at the lab, this time he actually wanted to know what he had missed in the few days he was gone, especially with the uprising that hit. Oh, it says /M supposed to like give some kind of visual to, like for example tilt the screen. Why did I pause the game? What, did I went to grab a sandwich or some shit? I don't know. With the uprising that has since begun, from what he could gather, Gordon Freeman, after surviving the teleporter incident, had gone off to rescue Eli, who was captured by the Combine. They broke into the prison known as Nova Prospect, and their actions there sparked the beginning of an ongoing uprising against the Combine. However, Gordon and Alex haven't been heard from since, and Eli was taken to the Citadel / p, p align equals left. It struck Steve how intense everything had become since Gordon Freeman's arrival. While he didn't see Gordon as the big hero that humanity said he was, Steve had to admit that he sure got results. Steve wondered if Gordon would ever show up again. Part of him was curious how he would shake things up this time, but Kleiner and Barney were losing hope that he would return / p, p align equals left. Nah, that's just where the fucking next, like, paragraph is supposed to begin, but why is it, like, written and not just visually shown? I don't get it. A loud metallic thud startled Steve out of these thoughts. Kleiner took position at the entrance of the lab with his shotgun, waiting to see what would be on the other side. As it opened, what appeared surprised Steve. It was not Gordon Freeman or any human for that matter. It was... what the fuck was it? I added the fuck myself, you know, a little bit of my own flavor. Some kind of robot? Kleiner somehow recognized it, allowing it to enter. Dog, now this is quite a surprise. Did you really come all this way all this way from Black Mesa East? What a long trek it must have been. Now Steve have learned that about some of the animals on Earth, but his memory was a bit fuzzy on the details. This, however, certainly was not a dog. This obvious comparison was that it was not organic, did not have any fur, and was tall and bipedal, towering over Kleiner. Sure, it looked more like a gorilla, I guess. Surely the human knew that, right? Regardless, it didn't seem hostile and they seemed to know each other, so Steve was okay with it. Staying with them, it's not... Wait, is this whole episode just me with a fucking paused menu? What the fuck is wrong with me? I should have fucking cut it out. Oh my bloody Christ, I should have really watched this goddamn footage more carefully. Don't tell me 39 minutes of this fucking footage and like 4 of it already is just for the paused fucking menu. At least I'm reading something interesting. Blah blah blah, not have any fur and was tall and bipedal, towering over Kleiner. Surely the human knew that, right? Regardless, it didn't seem hostile and they seemed to know each other, so Steve was okay with it staying with them. If nothing else, its hulking stature would surely scare off any intruders. Steve still made sure to keep his distance from the thing just to be safe. This wasn't very hard, as the dog seemed content on staying in the storage closet that had previously housed Gordon's HEV suit. Every now and then, Steve would stare longingly on the wall hiding the entrance to the teleporter room. Kleiner had kept a watchful eye on him ever since he returned, so he doubted that he could ever get another chance to activate it this time. Activate it at any time soon. A few days later, Steve was making his rounds, wandering through the labs. When he stopped again at the wall, something felt off. Something felt very off. What's going on? I don't know. He cautiously approached the wall and heard a whirling noise. What was going on there? Kleiner noticed Steve's curiosity and momentarily stopped his work. "Oh, Hetty, whatever you up to over there?" he called as he began to walk towards Steve. Both of them jumped as the sound became incredibly loud. Steve remembered this sound distinctly. Someone was arriving through the teleporter. Kleiner once again grabbed his shotgun and sighted against the wall. He was... the fuck happened to me? He was very quick to do it. Steve figured Kleiner must have had done... That I was trying to fix something that the game froze? I don't know what the fuck. Kleiner once again grabbed his shot, blah blah blah. Kleiner must have had to do this a lot throughout the past week. Steve had hid behind him as the two waited for the sound to stop. The room became quiet until Steve could hear muffled voice speaking. Then there was a banging on the wall along with a familiar voice. "Dr. Kleiner, let us out." Kleiner slowly opened the door with the shotgun aimed through the gap, then gasped as he recognized the two humans awaiting them. "Alex, Gordon, my God, how did you get here? And when?" Oh yeah, did this happen? I remember that. Steve peeked his head inside to share Kleiner's amazement at the sight. Alex Vance and Gordon Freeman, alive and well. Steve and Kleiner were elated, but for very different reasons. For Kleiner, two of his allies had arrived and were safe and sound. For Steve, however, it meant that the teleporter had worked once again. As soon as nobody was looking his way, Steve jumped up the upper walkway to the now vacant room and examined the console there, only to find it non-functional. In a panic, Steve rushed all around the room, fiddling with all various components, hoping that he could somehow get it to run just one more time. His work slowed as he began to set in that Alex and Gordon arrival was a one-way trip. He didn't have much time to wallow in his misery as he was swept up in a hug. "There you are. I was worried sick about you. Can you believe Alex wanted to leave you behind? Come on now, Lamar," Kleiner said, putting Steve on his shoulder. Fuck, it's really hard to read with all these weird things in between. Alex entered the room looking exasperated. "Dr. Kleiner, did you find it yet?" "We really need to." She paused, seeing Steve perched up Kleiner. I see you have come on. We don't have much time. Let's get you out of here." No, it's supposed to be like this. I see that you have. Come on, we don't have much time. Let's get you out of here. The three returned to the main lab with Gordon and the dog notably absent. Kleiner motioned towards the carrier on a nearby table. Steve signed and jumped off Kleiner, then entered into it. Was it demeaning? Absolutely. But right now, a safer and swifter voyage at a City 17 was sounding pretty good to Steve right about now. Alex began to escort the two out of the lab, and they began their escape. As much as Steve wanted to try to sleep to pass the time, he wanted to know where they were heading. The plan was to take a train to a place called White Forest. They would be relocating to a research base which served as a base for the resistance. Satisfied with this answer, Steve was about to tune the humans out until one word immediately got his attention. Strong rockets, strong. Is that meant to be here? I don't know if that's meant to be part of the fanfic or is it another weird fuck up. They were working on a rocket there, Steve felt like celebrating with his newfound hope, though he didn't want to slow their pace down by adjusting the carrier he was in. This was his best chance of getting home yet. As for how to actually do it, well, he had all the time in the world to make a plan. Eventually, the trio had reached the train station. Alex parted with them to catch up with Gordon and then boarded a train filled with other evacuees. Through his limited view of the carrier, Steve watched the side of City 17 pass by as they left for White Forest. And believe it or not, this is the end of Chapter 8. And I got no idea what the fuck is White Forest about. Oh, they took my guns. Took my guns. And they evaporated them too. Let's leave some comments. Oh, this one was made in 2020. This fiction is super. I'm happy with when Chapter 3 comes out. I don't know what they're talking about. Chapter 3 already came out. They made it in... Wait, they made a comment in 2020 on Chapter 8 telling them that Chapter 3...
So, this is done.
I mean, I guess they wrote it, I'm happy when Chapter 3 comes out. Maybe they meant I was happy when Chapter 3 came out, as in they actually read it when Chapter 3 came out. Cool but creepy at the same time, please write more. It's not creepy.
At last.
It's really recapping the story of Half-Life 2, of Half-Life 2, through the eyes of that one headcrab.
Well,
how wow,
we
are going to war? Pfft, that referring to either the Combine, Ravenholm, or the Resonance Cascade. Either way, pretty fun, continue. I mean, it was a good fanfic. It wasn't as shitty as that one fucking... that one stupid ass... Iranian fanfic I was reading. That one sucked ass. Chapter 3 came out... Let me see... Oh, never mind. It was published June 17, 2011, but it was updated November 4th, 2020. So the guy made the fanfic in 2011 and just updated it and this year? I mean last year I guess now? He updated the fanfic last year, so maybe he's writing the finale. What the hell is White Forest? This came out in 2011, so I imagine maybe in 2011 there were some rumors that this is what's gonna happen in Half-Life 3. That they're gonna go to a location called White Forest.
Well, Dr. Freeman, under other
Supposedly Half-Life 3 at some point was supposed to kind of look like The Thing. Or they were gonna go to like an Antarctic lab. I don't know, but now that I played Half-Life 1 and 2, I'm kind of probably gonna join the people who are waiting for Half-Life 3. I still gotta play episode 2. And I still probably have to play the DLCs, right? To be a proper Half-Life fan. So as you can see, I have the Gary's mod gun. I mean the gravity gun. So, really, what changed about this gun? Now it's, instead of being orange, it's blue. It looks more powerful, I guess. But I guess it means that I can grab power energy balls and I can shoot them at enemies. Oh, I can straight up grab enemies and throw them around. So I just have a way more powerful gravity gun that I can use to throw enemies around and fuck them up. Yeah, so that's kind of like like a little power moment where you reach the game and you get like a really powerful gun you can head throughout the game. You know, this is kind of like the thing where, like, when you beat a boss fight that's very hard and you get to, I don't know, take the boss's weapon and you get to, like, fuck up some enemies with it. Rayman 3 had that, for example, with the first boss fight. Interestingly enough, Rayman 3 was first boss fight was supposed to be completely different, was supposed to be against, like, a big enemy. Big monkey-looking enemy. But the enemy turned out to be too big and complicated to animate, so they instead replaced it with like this one small guy riding on these like two big legs. And then when you beat him, you actually get to take these legs for yourself and you get to like fuck up a lot of enemies. Yeah, 16th minute. Out of 39. And then one last episode that's like, I don't know, 16 minutes long.
Your mentors are partly to blame, of course. My discipline with Eli Vance and Isaac Kleiner is far greater than my son.
And shut up, Breen.
In a way, I suppose you could not have done otherwise. Who knows what seeds of iconoclasm they planted when you were young and dumb.
Man, Breen is straight up trash talking me. He's trash talking me, but he's using like some kind of nerd language. So he's just fucking telling me that, oh, they implanted the stupidity in your brain as a child. Fuck you, Breen. I really want to solve that humanity. And why Breen too? Like, what, the aliens that are actually the main bad guys in all of Half-Life decided that Breen's is enough of a little bitch to be actually another puppet. He's charismatic enough to seem like a good leader for humanity, but also a little bitch who would do anything that they would tell him. But at this point, when you're dealing with aliens that are able to control whatever they want, I guess, are you really a little bitch for selling out humanity? I still say yes, but I don't know, if you stood up against them, they'd probably just kill you. Like they did to Eli in episode 2, which was later retconned in Half-Life Alyx. Which I guess I'm a little glad, even though I didn't like the new voice actor for Half-Life, for Eli in Half-Life Alyx. Also, look, now I can have 200 suit defense. Armor, basically. It's kind of like in Duke Nukem, where you can have health and armor on top of it. Or in Grand Theft Auto 2. I mean, not Grand Theft Auto 2, Grand Theft Auto as well. Where, you know, you have health and you can have a bulletproof vest on top of it. I remember that mechanic was like really unhelpful in GTA 5. Like, I barely ever bothered to buy a bulletproof vest. Part of it wasn't because, I don't know, your health bar was so big, or you had such a lot of health, or enemies were so shitty. It was because how overpowered you are with your guns. Even the most basic of a pistol, the like most default ass pistol can prove to be a deadly weapon in that game. If you just simply point it at an enemy, aim slightly higher and shoot. And everybody dies. Not even aim slightly higher, just guns are really strangely fucking powerful. They're not even powerful, they're just like insanely accurate, so every shot lands. So I end up like taking some tougher enemies with like, I don't know, 5 shots. Which maybe I'm a little glad, because some of these San Andreas missions with some of the enemies were so fucking annoying that maybe I'm glad GTA 5 is a little easier. It's a thing that I often find myself, I don't know, it's like a paradox. On one hand, I like when games have a challenge, when games aren't just like a walk forward and you're basically immortal and no one can do anything to you. But on the other hand, I get so fucking mad when a game actually does pose a difficult challenge. And then I start screaming and going like, who the fuck made this? This is bullshit. So, what do I want? Do I want games to be easier, or do I want games to be challenging? Because a sign of a really good game to me is always whenever the game pisses me off. But it doesn't pisses me off because of how shitty the game is. It pisses me off because of the challenge it poses. And the fact that I'm still going through it, and I still want to beat it. Regardless of how many times have I been pissed off by the game. I still want to pull through, I want to beat it, and that's a sign of a good game. This game haven't done that to me, but it doesn't mean it's bad. It just seems, I don't know, it seems like I was just better at this game than some video games. Monster Hunter, for example, Monster Hunter World was a game that infuriated me. I was even watching one of the episodes, the one where I fought Nergigante. Honestly, I thought I was way more angry when I was fighting Nergigante. When I beat Nergigante, instead of screaming out of anger or joy, I just went like, oh, fucking finally. But I remember to this day, I'll never forget that. I was sitting there for 3 goddamn hours, fighting Nergigante because how difficult that was. I feel like anybody who played that game can agree with me though. It's not just my weird thing that I couldn't beat it. Even though I beat the final boss first try. And I never fought it before that. Thankfully, because I never intended to fucking... If I would have failed that and sit another 3 hours fighting the final boss of that game, I think I would have go insane. Belzegoose, I never even beat it. I only captured it, which doesn't count. I feel like my fault was maybe I just happened to have an absolutely... There were these like stats in the game in Monster Hunter where your armor could be like very good against fire enemies. It could have like additional defense against water enemies. And I think fire was the best because a lot of enemies use fire in that game. Well, for example, darkness or something like that. Very little enemies use darkness in that game. So anyway, and I think it just so happens that the armor set I had at the time when I was fighting Belzegoose just happened to have like -20 fire defense or something, and he was using fire, so maybe that was the reason why I sucked so bad. Maybe I should have given it another try later at the game, but if I'm being honest with you, I don't have intention of making more fucking Monster Hunter content, even though it did get a DLC like last year, and people said it was really good. When I say last year, I still mean 2019. It was just the beginning of 2020, so last year to me is still 2019. I think I'm gonna die soon. And there we go. I predicted the future.
I have laid the foundation for humanity's survival.
Whenever I play a game and there's like this evil force and they took over humanity and shit, I always feel like, wouldn't life be just easier if everybody sided with them? Unless they're super evil. Like the Empire in Star Wars. Are they truly that evil? Yeah, I mean, I don't know, they never really get into like, oh, I don't know, they took over private businesses and nobody can own anything in the universe anymore because every business and every fucking property is owned by the Empire now. But I don't think so. There's like cantinas and shit, there's like casinos. So I don't know, maybe the Empire would have been better off if they just simply fucking... You know what, if Empire didn't have that evil presence and they weren't ruled by a Sith Lord, I had Darth Vader as their like general. Instead, if they walked into the universe, right? I don't know how it fucking was in Star Wars. They kind of like, you know, the clones became the fucking stormtroopers and shit, and they were just like, "Hello, we are the stormtroopers. We rule you now," and shit. And they weren't like, I don't know, beating people up and fucking acting like a bunch of douchebags. Then I bet Star Wars wouldn't happen because everybody would be chill with them. They would be like, "Oh, all right." Sure, go ahead and rule me however you want. Have there ever been a piece of, like, I don't know, a character in Star Wars that uses their force power? For example, they wield two swords, but the deal is they fight with one of the swords and they use the force. Because I always thought, if Jedis can, like, you know, move their swords to them, what if, like, you can use the force to make... Jesus fucking Christ. Dude, chill out. Stop scaring me. What if you could use the force to take a lightsaber, turn it on, and make it orbit around you, and you fight with another one? That's... I don't know, I think that's a really cool idea. I would have loved to see something like that. I would have loved if the next Star Wars trilogy just, like, started with, like, everybody dying. Like, I don't know, fucking Rey gets killed by a Sith Lord. Everybody gets murdered by a Sith Lord at the very beginning. Or even better, a fucking credit scroll telling, like, all your favorite characters from the sequel trilogy all dead. They were all murdered by one fucking evil guy, and now he's the villain. And he's not hell-bent on destroying the galaxy, he just likes to murder people, he's a psycho. And that's it. No bringing back the fucking Empire, no Palpatine coming back, no kind of edgy teenager trying to be new Darth Vader or anything. Just one evil Sith Lord who's so fucking powerful nobody can stand in his way. And what's that? I don't know, a fucking ancient Jedi with unimaginable fucking power who's been in hiding this whole time. Has to come out of hiding and fuck him up. I don't know, I'm not a fucking most knowledgeable person about the Star Wars lore, so maybe I'm full of shit. That's a nice view, if it wasn't so blurry. From up here, City 17 looks kinda nice. Now the game takes place in Eastern Europe or whatever. Hey, why the fuck does the game take place in Eastern Europe? Why did they choose that to build a citadel where the leader of the world is sitting? Especially since the last game took place in Nevada. Why couldn't they build a citadel there? No, not my cool gun. I'm defenseless now. Ah, dickhead took it. He even kinda looks like a dickhead. And it's Mossman.
I'll take him from here.
That
Don't
treacherous
struggle.
bitch.
It's no use. Until you're where he wants you, there's nothing you can do. I'm sorry, Gordon.
What if Gordon's canonically a mute? But he gets, like, very expressive with his hands and facial expressions. So whenever something happens, he just goes like,
Meteorological intelligences.
oh wait, you can't fucking see my face, that's right.
Thin across the
What if I would buy a camera and actually make food? Like, I'm sitting in my underwear right now. Do you really want to see me sitting fucking half naked here, drinking an energy drink, not even looking at the screen?
Indescribable evil. Good God.
Well, if it isn't Gordon Freeman at
Well, it isn't. It's me.
What's this? I'll put it over there.
That was just whatever. Get rid of it.
Have my gratitude, Doctor. First, you lead me straight to the doorstep of my oldest friend.
Brains of
Then
dumbass.
you deliver yourself. If I'd known you were going to come straight up to my office, I wouldn't have bothered hunting you in the first place. Having both of you in my keeping ensures I can dictate the terms of any bargain I care to make with the Combine.
I like Dr. Breen and Gorgeous Freeman more.
Yes, Judith, what is it?
The bargain we should be making is for Eli's life so he can continue his research.
Thanks to you, we have everything we need in that regard. You're more than qualified to finish his research yourself.
Oh, now they're gonna kill
What
Eli,
neither
but she's
you
in love
nor
with
I
Eli.
can do is convince that rabble in the streets to give up their senseless struggle. Yet Eli refuses to speak the words that would save them all.
Save them? For what?
Eli, if you won't do the right thing for the good of all people...
I don't know, do you think the voice actor for Eli is dead? That's the reason why, you know? they didn't brought him back in Half-Life
Dad.
Alex. But why did they not brought back the voice actress for Alex in
Damn
Half-Life
you,
Alex?
will you let her
They brought back
go?
G-Man,
That's all up to you, my old friend.
so what the fuck?
Will you let your stubborn short-sightedness doom the entire species?
Doom?
Or
That's another
will
video
you
game
give your
franchise I was
child
gonna
the
get
chance
into.
your mother never
I was
had?
gonna do Doom 1 and 2,
How dare you even mention her?
but none of the new ones.
Alex, my dear, you
Those
have
I
your
didn't
mother's
really care.
eyes, but your father's stubborn nature.
You haven't seen a bit of it yet.
Really? Well, let's see how well it serves you on the far side of a combined portal.
Go ahead, Bree. If that's the worst you can do, send us both through your portal.
Oh, it's hardly the worst. But you might find that
You'll end
hard
up
to
in
believe
aperture
once you get
science, being
Isn't
experimented on.
necessary.
I agree. It's a total waste. Fortunately, the Resistance has shown it is willing to accept
Why am I
a human.
bleeding out of my shoulder?
And this one has proven to be a fine pawn for those who control.
I don't know what happened to my
Don't
fucking
listen
foot,
to him.
but I lost
How about
fucking...
it, Doug Freeman? Did
It's
you
like
realize your contract was
my
open to the
toes
highest
went
bidder?
on my right foot went numb, and at first I was like,
I understand
okay,
You don't wish to discuss this
they
in
just
front of
went
your
numb,
friends.
right?
I'll
But it's
send
been
them
2
on their
days
way,
and they're
then
still
we can
numb.
talk open.
Don't struggle,
I don't know what the fuck, man.
I'm so sorry.
Alex.
Maybe soon I will, my whole body will go numb.
Judith, what do you think you're
And
doing?
she's zapping
We're doing
stuff.
what I could never do alone. We're
Oh
stopping.
look,
you.
Mossman,
Yes.
good.
Guards, get in here.
Aye, shit.
They know you betrayed them. They'll turn on you. Judith, Dr. Mossman, please.
I'm sorry, Wallace. You're all out of
Man,
time.
Breen, you kinda suck.
Don't.
You're not the most memorable fucking bad guy ever. Watch out.
Dad, hang on.
Breen has the portal gun
Watch out, he's gonna.
No!
that he doesn't even hold properly. Well, he kinda blasted me in the face. Not the clock.
Dad.
We're out of time.
No, don't worry
We're
about
out of time.
There's no time, Alex. He's on his way to the portal.
We'll save the world. We're out of time. Save the world. It's all very
Look after
symbolic.
your father. Don't you worry.
Garbage on the ground in this game
I'm
is
not
symbolic.
saying goodbye.
it. Never.
And the shattered floor is
Come on,
also
Gordon.
symbolic.
Let's go.
My girl.
Look, Mossman's cool now. No
I'm
kiss.
not leaving you again. Eli.
What kind of an asshole builds a statue of themselves and puts it in their own office? Look, I'm wrecking his office in case he comes back.
We haven't known each other very
I'm gonna
long,
write
but
Gordon rules on the wall.
I know you didn't have to do this. I had to rescue my
She got
father,
red
but
hair.
you-
Yeah, she kinda does have like a red
Thanks
bit
for
of
coming
hair.
after me.
Are you saying you love me?
I can still deliver,
That's him.
but not without your help. The portal destination is untenable. Surely you can set the relay elsewhere. There's no
When you play as Alex in Half-Life Alex, I believe she's like 17 in that game.
joking. I can't
There
possibly.
he is.
Oh, all right, damn it, if that's what it takes. Just hurry. He's right behind me.
Ah, this camera. See, that's the alien that's like actually the leader of the whole fucking Combine bullshit. Oh, you left me my gun. How nice of you.
Not again.
And he's just asking for it, fucking waving like a dickhead. Yeah, what about it?
He doesn't have a clue,
I
does he?
still have one more video to make, Jesus Christ.
I wonder where he's going.
I gotta take a walk after this. I gotta fucking see the outside world for a little bit.
Oh my god. This is
Listening
the
to
Citadel's
ABBA.
dark fusion reactor.
Take a walk around
It powers the
neighborhood.
tunneling entanglement device. We'll never have a chance like this again. We've
When you guys
got
go
to stop
outside, do
that
you like
debris.
pack something? Like a gun? Or not? Or am I just weird?
I can't shut it down.
I don't pack a gun, I don't have a gun. I have a knife though. Like, I don't take it out or anything, just kinda have it on me. Shit, is the
Looks like
episode
he's
gonna
turned
end?
over control to the other
5
side.
more minutes. 6 more minutes actually.
You'll have to go into the core and do what you can.
I can't do anything,
In
Alex.
the elevator and I'll let you in. Don't forget to charge yours.
I can't do anything because this is a pre-recorded footage of me playing the game. I'm just sitting here. So, the commentary. It's like I'm watching my own Let's Play. I was kind of thinking, what if I would rewatch like my old Let's Play and hear what I was talking about in those Let's Plays? Maybe I would have reminded myself of a story that, like, I would say, like, a Let's Play from back in 2017. I would say, like, oh, I was gonna do this today. And I would be like, oh my god, I never did that.
Really shouldn't be out there. At the moment of synapse, as I teleport, this chamber will be big.
Maybe I would remind myself of something important I had to do a while ago and I forgot about it. Or maybe I shouldn't live in the past and I should look forward to the future and think about it.
Yet to be named by human science. Perhaps when I have the leisure to do the work myself, I'll name one of them after you.
Back to the
That
past.
way you won't be completely forgotten. When the singularity collapses, I will be far away from here, in another universe, as a matter of fact. You, on the other hand, will be destroyed in every way it is possible to be destroyed, and even in some which are essentially impossible.
See, I told you that. At first, Breen is straight up shit talking me with his super stupid science mumbo jumbo. But right now, he's actually just shit talking me. And he doesn't even sound fucking smart anymore. He just sounds upset. He sounds like a bully. I don't know, give him a wedgie in middle school and he said something like, one day I'll be a rich programmer and you'll fucking clean my boots. That's what Breen sounds like right now. What the fuck killed me? This part really pissed me off, by the way. I was redoing it so much. On all the dumbass bull, and I was keep getting damaged by whatever the fuck. And platforming around here is pretty shitty. Who would have thought this guy plays a platformer game?
I warned you this was futile.
There's a lot of jumping. And honestly, this game's a better platformer game than some platformers I played. For example, KO the Kangaroo 1 sucks dick. Imagine if Resident Evil was a platformer. That's what KO 1 is. It has tank controls, and I hate it. I know Croc has tank controls too. And yeah, I don't particularly like Croc either. It's like, doesn't fucking prove anything. I do remember playing Croc on PC a long time ago. And I even back then didn't like it because I couldn't get to these, used to these stupid ass controls. I remember there was like a segment where you had to drive a motorboat or whatever. I hated that too. So Croc is another franchise that I don't really fucking care about, and I don't know if I'll ever do Let's Plays of it. Maybe one day when I'll run out of 3D platformers to do. What do we got?
Oh no, Breen started his ascent.
Whoops.
Hurry, Gordon, before he escapes.
Maybe I should just finish the commentary now, since there's only one more minute. I can't even bring up anything interesting.
Keep going.
Whenever I bring something up, I go for at least like a 10-minute long rant about it. But in this game's case, or at least with the way I'm doing commentary right now. See, if I was recording Cyberpunk right now, I would have been just like, oh, I'm here for too long, I'm gonna make this episode shorter, fuck it. But I can't because this is the pre-recorded footage. I can't fucking decide that, oh, I'm gonna cut this video short. I can't cut this video.
Are you still with us, Dr. Freeman? Not for much longer,
I should have cut out this part where I paused the game and did nothing.
Only you had harnessed your boundless energy for a useful purpose.
Recognize this place? Portal's opening and I decided to finish the episode here. So the next episode is basically a boss fight and the credits.
I hope you said your farewell.
So it's not very long. And now we gotta take down 2 gunships, which is pretty fucking hard to do. And the episode's about to end in 20 minutes and I'm all the way back here, which is really annoying me. So, see you fellas in the next episode. Bye.
Apart from your own annihilation,